Hey, welcome back to Star Technology, where in the last video, we finished making all of these multi-blocks that we've been working towards for about 3 episodes now. Well, I say all of them, I didn't get the circuit assembler because that's got its own difficulties to deal with, but I'll get onto that in a bit. So now that we're done with the multi-blocks, I was gonna say that's all of the sideways progress that I wanted to do in Ivy, but no, I can immediately think of 2 other things that I want to do. The most significant? Yeah, let's go with that. That's the most significant progress. So now I think I should... there's still other things I want to work towards. But what I'm planning on doing in this video is forward progress, because I want to try and get LUV circuits in this video, so that way I can make the Elite Circuit Assembler and then the Circuit Assembling Factory. I can make parallel control hatches, and I can make the next tier of solar panels. All extremely worthwhile things to make. And I've been looking into it a bit, and all I'm really missing is just 2 different wafers, which really are not that bad. Like just a new lens and converting an existing one. I don't see it being too hard for me to get LUV circuits. I think the bulk of the work here is going to be triggering all of the quests that I've missed along the way, because I've been trying to trigger some of them, but I got stuck here because it's a different method to what I did to get epoxy. The main thing here stopping me is wood vinegar, because for that I need... well, I can distill charcoal byproducts, but that is still made in the pyrolyze oven, so I need a pyrolyze oven. And I did make the control block just to see if I could trigger the quest, but no, I actually have to use it, and that felt like enough that I should wait until a video to do it. So that's the plan for this video. Finish off all of these quests, so that I can then start making the next tier of circuits, so I can get LUV, so I can do the next significant sideways progress. Alright, starting with this pyrolyze oven. This is a thing from MV? Yeah, this is way back in MV. I just didn't bother with it back then. So it's pretty simple. Does it work with other coils? Yeah, it works with other coils. It makes it go quicker, sure. I've got spare nichrome, 150% speed. That is more than enough for doing a recipe once or twice. Then of course I need to get all the hatches, and then 9 ULV machine casings. I haven't done anything with ULV because it doesn't really mean anything. But I just need 72 wrought iron plates, and that's very easy. So yeah, 9 ULV machine casings. And I don't know where to put this. Do I replace the coke oven? Yeah, this is an electric coke oven. So I can get rid of all of that then. And I can just place this down however I want, really. I brought over EV stuff to power this, but I guess I can just hijack the EV stuff from the ore factory. But that should be everything. Yep. I just need to do maintenance. And now that I have this, I could probably set this up for creosote so that I can get some lubricant. So this wasn't entirely pointless, but right now I need the wood vinegar, and that's just 16 logs on circuit 7. There we go. And I guess I get 20 charcoal out of it too. Alright, next up in finishing this chain, I need acetone and bisphenol A. I have acetone, and I kept 1 bucket of bisphenol A just for this purpose. And I think... I don't quite have the bucket of epoxy, but I can make it pretty easily. So that's 3 more. And I need an epoxy sheet, an epoxy circuit board, and an epoxy printed circuit board. And that's 3 more achievements. And I think the last one in the chain before I can start working on the circuits. Right, that was actually a lot easier than I thought. I just needed the pyrolyze oven. So now, on to making the LUV circuits. And it's worth noting that I could get the next tier of SMD components, and that is an IV quest, But they all require stuff that I don't... I mean, I have access to it, yeah. But I don't want to deal with this just yet. And it's at the end of a pretty long line of stuff. And all of this is labeled with optional. So I will need these eventually, and I should get them, because they literally half the processing time. But I think that's for another time, because boy is that complicated. Anyway, the next thing that I need before I can start making the circuits is the nano CPU wafer. And that's a CPU wafer with raw carbon fibers and glowstone. And I already have a recipe for liquid glowstone, but not for carbon fibers. But they're not that bad either. I think I'll make them with liquid epoxy, because the polybenzimidazole, I probably butchered that completely, it produces the most, but that's at the end of all of this stuff, so I'm fine with just liquid epoxy for now. And good thing I've upgraded the autoclave. So now I should be able to just ask for the nano CPU wafer. It's getting the carbon fibers a bit slowly. I think I can solve that by just putting an acceleration card in. Yeah. Although it's taking longer than it probably should, so has something gone wrong in the chemical reactor? Oh, requires clean room. Whoops. Let's try that again. Okay, that time it worked. Then I just need the recipe for the chips, and surprisingly this doesn't require the clean room. I'm gonna do it in the clean room anyway, because that's where the big cutter is, and it should be fine. Yeah. There's only so much that can go wrong with the cutter. I might want to give it another acceleration card, because it does not extract very quickly. But that's the nano CPU wafer done. So now I can make the rest of these circuits. I think I'll make the NOR memory wafer first, actually. This isn't too bad. I just need to make a pink lens. And of course I need pink dye as well, but that's not much of a problem. There, pink lens. So now I can encode the recipe for the NOR memory wafer, and may as well make the chip recipe while I'm here too. And I can stick the pink lens in here with the recipe, and throw in the chip recipe too. And I'll just make the recipe now, or make the wafer now, just to trigger the quest. And now I can make these circuits. So I need this recipe, the one with the tin, and the SMD components that I actually have. And yep, I have a recipe for everything there. I just need to do the right quantities of everything. That's the first chip, then that can make the next one. And again, just make sure it's all the right quantities. And then that makes one more. And that's the one that can make the LUV circuit. Right. Need to make a bit of space here. Until I can prove that it's working, I'm not going to remove the old processors, the old chips. Yeah, I can just remove the solar panel stuff for now. Let's see. First up, the nano processor. That's worked. Then the nano processor assembly. That's worked too. Then the nano processor supercomputer. Again, it's worked. And then finally, I can test the LUV circuit. And this time, it has to run all of these recipes together, because I need to get one more of the IV circuit. So this will test if anything conflicts with each other. And it might have taken a couple minutes, but that's that. It's made the LUV circuit. Meaning I could go into LUV if I wanted. Wait, it's only now telling me about laminated gloss? I've been using this for so long now. And because that's worked, I'm gonna replace the existing circuits. And I should be able to make that Elite Circuit Assembler. Ah, right. I'm gonna need to switch all the recipes that are requiring circuits. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find all of these recipes, so I'm just gonna wait until it comes up, and then I'll change it. Because I'm really not bothered to go through every single recipe that requires a circuit. Let's try this again. There we go. Elite Circuit Assembler. And that is an LUV quest. So I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. But now, I can make any of these. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is make the large circuit assembling factory. And I've found another recipe that's using the old circuits. That would be the robot arm. And then I can finally make the multi-block controller for the large circuit assembling facility. And I think I still have pretty much everything else that I need for this, so I can probably just make it. I need some more tungsten steel pipe casings and assembly line grating, but that's not too hard. Then there's the usual hatches, and I think that should be everything that I need to make the multi-block. Now I just need to move some things around in here so it can actually fit. I think I'm just going to have to start by picking up everything. All the patterns can sit in my pack for now, and I'm going to pick up everything from the cutter and move it to a better spot. Okay, so the planned space for the circuit assembling factory was here. Oh, I've accidentally destroyed the engraving laser. And this ends up just swooping in. I think I might... I'll move these there for now. I think I'm going to have to find a better spot to put the energy hatches. Maybe power goes in the top. Maybe most of the hatches go in the top, because then I get more space. Alright, then the control block goes there, and I can just put the rest of the blocks around it. Then tempered glass there, and the pipe casings like that? Yes. And I'm gonna run out of casings here, but then I just cover the top. Not completely. That's where the assembly line grating comes in. And yeah, I've run out of casing, but that's because I haven't put any of the hatches anywhere. And I really don't know where to put them all. I think I said I'll do them on top, just so I can get some space back. I'm just going to put these all in bad spots for now and move them all later. I just want to get all of the multi-blocks in place to see what spots are actually available to me. But now I run into the problem that because I don't have the parallel control hatch, I'm one short on casings. I hope I can just make the one more. Okay. There we go, it's working again. So, I have the circuit assembling multi-block. Now I just need to get the cutter back down. Right, that should be the cutting saw back in place. And also with terrible ports, just so I can see. I have room here to put some of the cutting saw things. So I guess I could put some of it there. I can put the ports in some reasonably sensible spots. I can put the recipes back now too. And honestly, most of the engraving laser ports aren't in terrible spots. And it shouldn't be too hard to move a lot of these ones around. And I can even put the energy hatch at the bottom. I think I'm going to move this maintenance hatch too. Put it there. Yeah, I'd say most of these are in sensible spots. And I can also just sneak the chemical reactor into the corner here. And I think I might move one of these energy hatches there, just so I don't have a cable in front of the door. But... oh, that's nearly good. I can just move some things. Yeah, that worked. I've got all of these energy hatches connected, and they're all connected to the one energy converter. So there's the chemical reactor. Oh, and I think... yeah, I have exactly enough cables to connect everything where it needs to be. So now, I just need to get the few more components to be able to connect up the circuit assembler to the ME system. And I've got to go through and fix all the maintenance hatches again. And I should be good. There we go. So just fix the maintenance hatches. And yeah, just to confirm it's working. Seems like it's making circuits. And one more thing. I do not have enough power to be able to run all of these at once. So I'm just going to throw in one more energy converter. And that should be enough to keep this all going when they're all running. At least for now. Because it is going to change in the future. So that is the last of the multi-blocks. And this is probably the final state the clean room is going to be in for a while. So now I can make the parallel control hatches. I think first I'm going to do the solar panels, because I really just want to fix my power now. And these don't seem too bad. I can just go through and make the recipes for all of this. I am going to need the fiber reinforced printed circuit boards, which I should be able to do. Let me see. I need annealed copper foil. That's not too bad. And then the fiber reinforced circuit board. Sulfuric acid, annealed copper foil with reinforced epoxy resin. And that's, yeah, epoxy and raw carbon fibers. I think the quests want me to do borosilicate glass, but I already have a recipe for raw carbon fibers. I don't think it's any more inefficient, so I'm just going to do that. And I'll just put all these recipes in place. And I should be able to order up a solar panel. The double tungsten steel, I don't quite have a recipe for that yet. But there's nothing else in the way. So I'll just make the double tungsten steel manually and just queue this up. And it doesn't seem to be having any problems. It's going by very fast, so it's kind of hard to validate that. But it doesn't look like anything's stuck. Yeah, that's all worked. It's just back onto the circuit assembler recipes. And those take a little while. Maybe I should get those next SMD components. Not right now. I just want to make sure that this works. It seems like it might be stuck on the Elite Solar Cell. What's wrong with this? Oh, I need a second IV circuit. Yeah, so the recipe's just wrong. So now with the second circuit, will it make the solar panel? It seems like it might be stuck again. Ah! It's a circuit problem this time. There we go. Need to configure it to circuit 0. And there we go. Elite solar panel. Finally. So, I think in my own time, I'm going to make a bunch more of these. I don't know if I'll cover the entire roof again. I might just replace patches of it. And I may as well get this solar panel in now. But that's going to be a huge increase in power. But yeah, it's going to take very long to make. How many do I have up there? 110? Oh, 210. Yeah, this is going to be very expensive. So, I'm not replacing all of them. I might just get, I don't know, 50. That seems doable. But there's one more thing that I want to do in this video, which is the parallel control hatch. The thing that we've been needing to get for such a long time now. Because now I can do it with the LEV circuits. I think I may as well encode it. That means I'm going to need to encode everything else here. 2 times platinum cables should be fine. I just need 2 times platinum wire. So I'm just going to get the 1 for now. And it looks like I should be able to make it. So I'll get it going because it's going to take quite a long time to go through. Just the 4 circuits alone. But if I'm getting a parallel control hatch, there's one more thing that I'm going to need. See, I've had the way these work explained to me, and I'm probably going to explain it wrong myself, because I read this a couple days ago, and I haven't put it into practice yet. But with the parallel control hatch, it lets it run 4 recipes, but each recipe takes 4 times as long. However, something that hasn't really been relevant until now, with the hatches that have more amperage in them, they have an overclocking of their own that can overclock just the duration of the recipe. So if I were to put the parallel control hatch on now, I would still be able to do IV tier recipes, but they would be a quarter of the speed. But if I was to put in 4 times as much power with the 4A hatches, I don't know if that would completely cancel out. I'm guessing it would. 4 times as much power seems to imply that. And I don't know if by 16 you can make it faster than the original recipe, but by 16 it's expensive. So I can make the 4A, and that should mostly cancel out the part of having the parallel control hatch. So I just need to make all the stuff I need for this, and I'll just make the 1 for now, because I'm just going to set this up probably on the circuit assembler for now, so I can make the circuits quicker. Yeah, I should be able to make the energy hatch, and this is all going to take quite a while to go through. Right, that should be everything that I need. I've also got a 16A energy converter, just so I can actually put... Would that be 4 amps? I don't know, it's a good idea to get better cables in here for now, because if I'm gonna get parallel hatches on all of these, they're all going to be drawing a lot more power. So, energy hatch in there. The parallel hatch can go anywhere, so I'll just stick it there. Ooh, and I can tell it how much parallel I want to do. I thought that would just set it to 4 instantly because I've got level 4 one in there. I'm just going to connect this all together again, and this should be working now. Not sure how to test. Oh, I can see. The EU per tick is the equivalent of LUV now. So have I gone too far? Maybe because it's not overclocked? My maths was right. I don't know. Fast is fast. That's fine by me. So now it should be... Nah, maybe I don't test it with that. It should be a lot easier for me to make... Let's go 4 circuits. Then it should be able to do everything in parallel and be effectively the same as just crafting 1. Well, once it gets all of the components for it, at least. Now my bottleneck is moving the items around. Yeah, I can see every time it fills enough, it starts the next recipe going. Okay. So it's doing something in parallel. I don't know if it's 4. I only counted 3, but it's probably doing 4 in parallel. I'm just going to stick an upgrade card in there so it can actually move the items around quick enough. But yeah, it's saying 5 seconds per recipe, but I guess it must be doing 4 in parallel if it's consuming that much power. Okay, so I guess that's another thing that I'm going to be doing on my own, is I'm going to be going through and upgrading, yeah, probably all of the multi-blocks to have a parallel hatch on them. I can't do it for these ones, but I swear these already have somewhat of a parallel thing by default. I don't know how else to explain why they're so fast. Anyway, I think that's enough for this video. That is very, very good progress here. And I think the only IV thing left that I'd be interested in doing is the large sieve. I still haven't fully worked out in my head how it's going to work out. Do I replace these sieves? Do I put it on top? Does it run things in parallel? It doesn't take a parallel hatch? Do I get 4 of them to run all 4 of the different recipes? Or do I somehow get the one to run all 4? I don't know. There's a lot of logistics behind that, and I haven't quite figured that out yet. And I guess I may as well get the advanced SMDs before I move on to LUV, but this episode has kind of just removed every blockade that I had for LUV. Because the solar panels kind of fixed the power requirement. I have the circuits, so I can craft most things. I guess I still need to get Twinite, and it needs HSGG. So I guess there's still a few things left. But that's all for another time. I'm done with this video now. I feel like we're getting through IV much quicker than I expected, considering the size of this tree. Yeah, I can't really think of any other comments to add here, so I'm just calling the video here. Bye.